Title: The Mark of the Cross. Chapter 1. Vanishing Silence. Dusk settled over Pine Hollow, a small, tightly knit town nestled in the wooded heart of Ohio. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone else, and that made the recent disappearances even more chilling. 20 people had vanished in less than a year, all without a trace. The only thing connecting them? A small black cross, etched or carved near where they were last seen. Detective Sarah Monroe, 38, transferred from Cincinnati, was called in when the local sheriff's office finally admitted they were in over their heads. She was meticulous, analytical, and had a reputation for solving cold cases. Partnered with local deputy Tom Riley, a kind but world-weary officer nearing retirement, they combed the town for answers. Chapter 2. The pattern Monroe set up a wall of victims, names, photos, locations, and soon a pattern emerged. All 20 had attended St. Matthew's Church, a beautiful yet somber stone building near the center of town, presided over by the revered pastor Elijah Graves. A tall, charismatic man in his early 50s, Graves was known for his powerful sermons and deep devotion. "There's no safer place in town than the house of God," he told Monroe when she visited him for the first time. But Monroe didn't believe in coincidences. Chapter 3. Unholy Clues. When victim number 21, Annabelle, a 16-year-old choir girl, vanished, Monroe noticed the same black cross carved into the pew where she sat every Sunday. The pastor called it a sick joke, but Monroe ordered the church to be temporarily closed for forensic inspection. Behind a panel in the basement, investigators found something: a set of old tapes, sermons, rants, whispers. One recording chilled them all, a distorted voice reciting scripture, followed by screams and then silence. It ended with, "The cross is my mark. The flock will follow." Chapter 4. A town unraveled tension tore through Pine Hollow. Church attendance dropped. The townsfolk grew suspicious. Pastor Graves called for unity from the pulpit, but people whispered. Sarah traced the tapes to an old local man, Carl Devens, the church's former groundskeeper, who'd been found dead in a fire years ago. Arson, they'd said, but a single burnt diary page survived in police archives. It read, "He speaks in verses, but he sees in blood." Chapter 5. Into the Darkness. Monroe got a break. A woman named Rachel Klein, who had survived a kidnapping attempt but never reported it, came forward. She said she remembered being blindfolded, tied up, and hearing hymns. Then a voice whispered, "You are not worthy." The kidnapper let her go. Under hypnosis, Rachel recalled the smell of incense. A hymnal book was placed in her hands, and she remembered the sound of a bell, the one only rung in St. Matthew's before early prayer. Chapter 6. Revelation. Monroe and Riley searched the bell tower. Hidden behind the old organ pipes, they found a trap door leading to a crawl space. Inside were chilling trophies, personal belongings from the victims, photos, and journal entries, each marked with a cross. The most damning item? A recent confession note, signed in a trembling hand. "Forgive me, Father. I have sinned." It was Pastor Graves's handwriting, but before they could arrest him, Graves disappeared. Chapter 7. The Final Sermon. A week later, the church bell rang at midnight. Monroe and the team rushed to St. Matthew's. Inside, candles flickered. On the altar lay Pastor Graves in full robes, preaching to an empty room. Cameras hidden in the walls were live streaming to the dark web. He turned to Monroe and said, "The cross was never a symbol of salvation. For me, it was selection." He reached for a switch, but Riley tackled him before he could electrocute himself using the altar's rigged wires. Graves screamed like a prophet cast down from his pulpit. Chapter 8. After the Fall. With Graves arrested and sentenced to life in a maximum security psychiatric facility, Pine Hollow tried to heal. The church was demolished, replaced by a memorial garden for the victims. Monroe stayed on as sheriff, forever marked by the horror she uncovered. When asked why Graves did it, he only smiled from his padded cell and said, "Every shepherd has to prune the flock." And sometimes the mark of the cross isn't a blessing. It's a warning.